So for Learning Target 4.1 on the Unit 4 review, well, the review of the first three learning targets, all it's asking you to do is to determine if the point given is a solution to the system of linear equations. It's not asking you to solve the system. Really what you're doing is just checking this point in each of these equations to make sure that you do get a true statement. So I'm going to start with the equation y equals 2x. Inside this ordered pair, I have an x and a y. So I substitute the 8 in place of the y and the 4 in place of the x, and I simplify both sides of the equation. Well, the left side of the equation is just 8, so I can't simplify it. 2 times 4 on the other side is 8. So that's a true statement, which means if I graph this line, this point is on that line. Now, it's not the point of intersection unless it's on both lines. So I'm going to go to my second equation. My y equals negative 4x plus 12. And again, because the point that I'm checking is the point 4, 8, I'm going to substitute 8 for my y and 4 for my x, and then I'm going to simplify both sides of the equation. The left side is still 8. The right side, negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Bring down my plus 12. And then negative 16 plus 12 is negative 4. Yes, I do expect to see all of the work that I've written down on this page. Now I have to answer the question. If I graph the first line, that point is on it. But if I graph the second line, the point is not. So it's not the solution, which would be the point of intersection of those two lines. It would have to be on both lines for that to work. So the answer that I write is the ordered pair, that point 4, 8, is not a solution. And I can't just say it's not a solution. It is a solution to the first equation. It's not a solution to the system, which is what I was checking. And yes, I expect to see this wording because this is really answering the question that's being asked. If the point is given is a solution to the system, so the point is a solution to the system or the point is not a solution to the system. So you can look up basically at the question, the directions, and see what the wording on your answer is going to have to be. So this is actually my answer. Now the second one, I'm going to check the first equation. So my 3.5x plus 2.5y equals negative 8. In this case, x is 2 from that point and y is negative 6. So 3.5 times 2 plus 2.5 times negative 6, and I'm checking to see if that equals negative 8. Well, order of operations says multiply before you add, so 3.5 times 2 is 7, plus 2.5 times 6, well, 2 times 6 is 12, half of 6 is 3, so that's plus negative 15 equals negative 8. Please use your calculators to help you with these. And then 7 plus negative 15 is negative 8. And negative 8 does equal negative 8, which means that's a true statement. So if I graph the first line, that point is on that line. Checking to see if it's on the second line. 1.5x minus 3.5y equals 22. Again, from that ordered pair, x is 2 and y is negative 6. So all I'm going to do is substitute, positive 22 here. 1.5 times 2 is 3. Now, if I bring this minus down as a minus, then I treat this as a positive 3.5 times negative 6. If I don't bring this down as a minus, I treat this as negative 3.5 times negative 6. So if I treat it as positive 3.5 times negative 6 because I bring this down as a minus, well, 3 times 6 is 18, half of 6 is 3, so this is minus a negative 21 because I brought this down as a minus and then I did this and I got a negative. If I don't bring this down as a minus, negative 3.5 times negative 6 is a positive 21. So instead of minus negative 21, I just have plus 21. And then 3 plus 21 is 24, and 24 does not equal 22. So once again, it's on the first line but not on the second line. So my answer is the point 2, negative 6 is not a solution to the system. Now, on your homework, I made you write out both of these checks, even if the first one was false, because I wanted you to get practice with doing these checks and simplifying them. On the test, if the first one you check is false, go back and check your work on that. But if the first one is false, you know that this whole system then, that is not the solution to the system. It's okay then to just write your answer. But since the first one's true, I need to go on and check the second one to see if it's true or false to know whether the answer works. The third equation, the third system, 2x minus 5y equals 4. In this ordered pair, the x is negative 3 and y is negative 2, so 2 times negative 3 minus 5 times negative 2 is 4. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Now, I don't usually bring the minus down. I usually think of this as a negative 5 times a negative 2, which I can do because this is like plus negative 5 times negative 2. Negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10, so I'm going to write this as plus 10 equals 4, and negative 6 plus 10 is 4. So that ends up giving me a true statement, which means that point is on the first line. Now, to see if it's on the second line, I'm going to start with my x minus 3y equals 3, and I should have left you enough room on your paper to write all of this work. So negative 3 is my x value minus 3 times negative 2 is my y value. So negative 3, and then I'm going to treat this as plus negative 3 times negative 2. Well, that's a positive 6. So I get a true statement this time for the first time on the second equation, which means my answer, again, it's asking me whether the ordered pair is or is not a solution to the system. So the ordered pair negative 3, negative 2 is a solution, not just to one of the equations, so you need to write the rest of this, to the system. It's important to write all of that because that's an understanding then that you know what you really did just check. You don't just write yes or no. What does yes or no mean? You don't just write that the ordered pair is or is not a solution. It is or is not a solution to what? So make sure that you write out the full answer. Thank you.